So this year I set myself a goal of creating one podcast / YouTube video every single week, and I actually set this goal last year and I didn't stick to it, and it wasn't out of laziness, it was just the fact that I had a lot of other things to focus on. I didn't want to give myself too much and it wasn't a priority. So now that I've got a good 3 under my belt, this is I've done 3, this is the 4th one, and I wanted to give just basically a ton of value in this one. As something I've been talking a lot about on my Instagram recently is effectively how to lose 5-10 kilos of body fat, build muscle, build a body that you love, and do it without feeling like you're dieting, right? So this is for people that, 1, want to achieve that result, but 2, also fall in the same category of doing things the wrong way, which is something I did for a long time, right? So what I would typically do, and you might resonate with this, and I see a lot of guys do the same, a lot of girls do, is wanting to get a result really, really quickly. And because of that, you do extreme stuff. You follow restricted diet plans, you cut out foods you enjoy, you try to go to the gym every single day, hitting the weights, cardio most days of the week, jumping on the treadmill, doing running. Basically, you're throwing shit at a wall, hoping it's going to stick. And the problem with that is, like, initially, you end up seeing really good progress because obviously when you're pushing that hard, it's impossible not to lose a bit of weight. But it kind of backfires. At least it did for me anyway, because I couldn't stick to it. It wasn't sustainable. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the food, and it was just too hard to keep up, right? So because of that, I just quit. And instead of like trying to look good and feel good, which is obviously the goal, I felt fucking awful. Like, to be honest with you, I actually looked worse because I'd lost a lot of muscle in the process of doing that. So this video is basically walking you through trying to put my arm. It's really uncomfortable, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm used to filming with everything in portrait mode. Obviously YouTube's the other way, so I'm like in a bit of a flexed kind of like position at the moment. So basically a 3-step process, 3 things that you need to focus on to achieve that result that I said at the start. So the first one is nutrition. That's the most important when it comes to fat loss. Like, it's absolute non-negotiable. And it's making sure that you do things a different way. So instead of cutting foods out, instead of making your diet miserable, instead of feeling hungry all the time, restricting the amount you eat, and feeling like you're like climbing uphill, right? It shouldn't feel like an uphill battle. A diet should feel relatively easy for the most part, relatively simple anyway. Only it's going to feel tough when you're maybe in week 1 or 2, and you're trying to settle in, or maybe like the last 2 weeks when you're trying to shred the body and push things really, really hard. But for like that in-between stage, which could last anywhere between like 8 weeks to 6 to 7 months, that should be like just everyday life. The way you want to do that, obviously for fat loss, 1 is like calorie intake and protein intake are essential. I won't go into details and bore you with that because there's a free guide I'm going to offer you at the end, and I'll tell you how to get that at the end, which will literally cover everything for you. So don't worry about that right now. But the main things I want to cover that will make a shift in what we've done before is our goal now isn't restrict, it's fuel. So when I say fuel, just swap arms. When I say fuel, we want to fuel the body with good quality food. So that means that 90% of your diet should be whole foods. Things like, when it comes to protein, chicken, beef, fish, eggs, whey protein. Like when it's carbs, it should be stuff like sweet potato, white potato, any type of rice, oats for example, sourdough bread, like avocado when it comes to fats, olive oil, butters, all these sorts of things, right? Most of your diet should look like that. And the reason why is, 1, it's going to make you feel good. 2, it's going to help you perform well and sleep well, which means that you're going to be able to train hard and build muscle and actually build a good physique, as opposed to the opposite of what you're doing before. And food volume. So when I say food volume, you want most of your plates to be pretty heavy. You want your stomach to be full so you don't feel like you're dieting. That's the key when it comes to a diet. Eat whole foods that keep you full, that keep you energized so you can perform well in the gym and not feel like you're dieting. So you're going to do that now by pretty much following, I have no idea what I am. It's pretty nice of you though. But you're going to do that by following 90% of whole foods. Obviously you're not a robot. Obviously, like myself, you want to be able to have a bit of chocolate here and there, ice cream, a meal out and stuff like that. You can still do that. It's just most of the time it's a whole foods diet. That's how to find and strike the right balance. So that's now how you want your diet to look. So that's step 1. So step 2 is basically like the training aspect. So instead of, again, what I used to do and what most people do is trying to overdo it, right? You're trying to train too much. You're trying to smash every single muscle group once per day a week. So like chest day, arm day, shoulders day, leg day, or something similar, right? Or at least you're in the gym too much. You're trying to do too much cardio. It's just not effective because one, you're natural, so it's not the best way to do things. And two, you don't really have the time, to be honest with you. Like, I fucking hate being in the gym 7 days a week. I don't want to train that much. I love training, but like 3 to 4 days a week is enough for me for 30 to 45 minutes. And that's enough for you to get the progress you need. It's better off hitting a muscle group 2 to 3 times a week than just hitting it once. But like I said, the main factor is when you do it this way and you're training like full body, for example, you have more days to recover. You're not feeling battered. That means that when you go into the gym, you're feeling fresh. That means that you can recover, because you're recovering better. The quality of those sessions will be way better, than what you was doing before. So you're going to get more out of it. And you build muscle when you recover. Like, the gym is the stimulus, but like if you're training all the time, your recovery in a diet is not going to be as good. And then obviously the most important part is you're a busy person. So trying to get to the gym 5-6 days a week is pretty tough. Trying to do 6-7 days a week of cardio, miserable, also pretty tough. This is now the new way that you're going to do things, and it's going to align much better with how you live your lifestyle. You're going to be able to keep it up, because let's be honest, you might fall into the trap that I did where you can't keep up so much, so you say, what's the fucking point? And then you quit. But actually, if you focus on the minimum effective dose, something that you'll get progress from, and you've got the time to do it, you're more likely to want to stick to that. And if you're going to stick to it, you're going to see the progress that you want. So that's the second thing, right? So the last thing now is what ties training and nutrition together, and that's like what I like to call lifestyle alignment. And I don't know where I'm going. Yeah, this way. So lifestyle alignment is basically making sure that that plan looks and feels like something that you want to follow and can follow. So for example, if you work in the city and you leave your house at 6 a.m. and you're back at 8 p.m. every single evening, does it make sense that you're going to do 6 cardio sessions a week and 6 gym sessions? No, you're going to say like, what the fuck, I can't stick to that, I don't want to do that. That doesn't align with the lifestyle. If you take clients out for meals, right, which a lot of my clients do, does it make sense to follow a plan that tells that you cannot eat out? No, because how are you supposed to do your job if you can't do that? Or if just even general stuff, like you want to go out with a partner once a week with your friends and have a meal out, have a couple of beers or something like that, which isn't the end of the world on a diet. Obviously 10, that's a different story, you shouldn't be doing that. But if you can't do those things, it's going to cause a massive conflict. Like, imagine if you're dieting, you have to diet for 6 months, which a lot of people do, to strip off 15, 20 kilos to get really, really lean. Imagine 6 months of no, like not even 1 pint on the weekends, no pizza at all, no burgers. And I'm not saying obviously you want to get in great shape. Like, there's times where those things have to go for a little period of time, but for the most part, you should be able to have a meal out a week or two, depending on what you choose, right? Making good options. You should be able to have a drink or two. Like, you should be able to have a bit of dessert and stuff like that. That is absolutely fine for the most part. So again, like, you need to make sure that the plan aligns with what you want to do, something you enjoy, and actually it fitting into your lifestyle. And the problem with what you're probably doing, which is what I did, when you follow stuff online, it's not made for you. So obviously it doesn't make any sense to stick to something that hasn't got your life, your needs, your wants in mind. Like, at the same time, you're not going to love to do everything. You might have to do a little bit more than what at times and what you want to do, but it shouldn't be anything drastic for the majority of a diet. So those are the 3 kind of core pillars, right? If you, like, for me, wanting to lose 5-10 kilos, pretty simple. It's nothing too crazy. Wanting to build muscle and do all that stuff at the same time and build a great body for summer, those are the 3 key points. 1 is nutrition, getting that nailed with your protein and calorie intake as well. And then number 2, getting your training nailed. It's training smarter, not harder. We're still training really fucking hard. Like, obviously don't get that twisted, but we're not trying to do more. We're trying to do better with less. And then the third thing is making sure the whole plan aligns with you and how your life and what you want it to look like. That's the secret recipe, ingredient, whatever you want to call it. So I have put, like I said, I put together a free guide. It literally is just like a PDF, and it actually has on there is, I don't know what that was. parrot or something. There's loads of those here. So yeah, what was I saying? Free guide. So it's actually got a free, oh, it's windy. It's got a free like meal plan example, like a day of like what that could look like, and also a day's worth of training too, of what that could look like of a full body session. So you don't have to follow it, but it's just going to give you a better idea of what might work better for you. And obviously if you just follow the free PDF, you're going to get results. Like, it's pretty impossible unless you don't stick to it for whatever reason. So if you want access to that, I'll put my Instagram in the description. Just head to my Instagram, message me like a free guide or PDF or something like that, and then I will send that right over to you.